Now, what's the old adage? Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Yeah, I think it's probably one of them times. As good as time as any. Being that we just had 6 earthquakes within the past 22 hours out here in California, Northern California, the Bay Area, the East Bay, Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond area. Yeah, so I felt the first one, in which was the biggest one, of 4.3, as they say, and it was during the middle of the night. It actually got me up. I was half asleep anyway, but it was a nice little violent shake. It wasn't no tremor. So obviously to me it seemed a little heftier than a 4 point, but they say it's a 4.3, so it was a 4.3. And there's been a few shakes after, and usually, we get aftershocks, what it's called, after an earthquake. There usually are aftershocks. But it seemed like we've been getting quite a few. So, according to the report, they saying, in addition to the 4 point, there's been a 2.3, then a 1.8, a 3.0, a 2.6, then a 2.2. And it's probably going to be a few others, but I just really want to put this video out really just to get some awareness out, because of course I live in California, so this is definitely earthquake country, but do they even advocate earthquake awareness anymore, like in schools? Because I remember back in the day we used to see billboards and all kind of stuff, but I barely see anything now regarding that. Now, being that earthquakes don't occur that often, fortunately, but they do happen, and there's no predictability. It's not like bad weather. It's not like a tornado or a hurricane where you can sort of prep for. Although certain hurricanes you can prep all you want, the best prep is to get up out of there. But concerning these earthquakes, they're real quick and sudden, and they shake them up. So depending on what part of the USA or the world you may or may not experience earthquakes. So this is just going to be kind of a reminder, because I don't think, again, they don't really prep awareness anymore. But if you don't know, well, if you outdoors during an earthquake, well, of course you want to get away from glass structures, anything that can fall on you or break on you. You want to stay away from electric poles. And the rule of thumb, and this is what you tell your people, especially when, of course, somebody may be at work, kids at school, etc., etc. The best place to be is actually, well, one of the best places is actually at a school ground. And maybe even certain parks, depending. But a school ground, because there's no street lights, there's no electric lights, there's no, other than the school structure, you don't have to worry about too much miscellaneous debris coming down on you. So if you indoors, then they say the best place to get is under a door, a door frame, because that's the strongest part of a house. And if you can, if it's sturdy enough, get under a table. If you don't got no other options, of course. But the rule of thumb is to get to the school ground. So tell your children, your loved ones, y'all have a designated meetup place, whether it be a school ground, a park, that everybody know in case of emergency, this is where you meet up at. And you definitely may have a few contingency plans. And this is just entry level prep. It's definitely, I would say, there's no too much prepping you can go beyond, really, to be honest. And this is just in terms of earthquakes, but just in natural disasters, period, or any type of disasters. Human disaster, we already know, man, anything subject to happen at any time. So I would suggest you actually do a little research and look into this, and getting your family hip And it ain't even about the money. Whether if y'all ain't got a dime, meet up, get in a huddle in the living room, and y'all lay the plan, play the part, play the position. If something happened and the kid, y'all at school, then y'all do this. Or if y'all here, y'all outside, y'all do this. We meet up here. You call who or whatever. This to do if it ain't no phones. If the internet go out. All that. So, man, I can't overemphasize that, man. And it's just something to, as a reminder, because we did just have 6 earthquakes. Now some people will be like, because I ain't gonna be honest, the few little aftershocks I ain't even feel. You know, people had to tell me, but the second or third one I felt, but the other ones I didn't feel. I didn't even realize there were 6 of them, you know, until I seen the report. But nevertheless, that first one I felt, and it was a decent shake 'em up. To be honest, when it happened, I thought a damn missile or bomb. I wasn't even thinking earthquake, because it was a nice, so I'm thinking a bomb. See where my head at, and because it was a good violent shake to where I'm surprised, as I said it when it happened, like, I bet we may get a report of a certain building falling down or something. And I didn't really look into it. I didn't hear nothing on the news, but, you know, fortunately, nothing didn't. Fortunately, it was just a focal point that I heard of, but who knows, man? Anything can happen, man. I don't know if you was around when that first big one we had. That was a real earthquake. And we hear of earthquakes taking place all over the world, in Asia, maybe even having violent ones, and you know, we ain't used to that too much out here. I mean, we have big ones occasionally, but most people, especially the youngest that's alive, if you 30 and under, you ain't really felt no big one out in California. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. And did you feel that earthquake, man, if you stay in this region, man? Or do they have earthquakes in your area? And if they don't, do they still have, I would say, contingency plans for whatever natural disaster take place in your area, at school, church, or anywhere, the community center? Do people talk about that in case of emergency? Because I think we probably need to start having talks like that, and not just with the natural disasters, in all disasters, foreign and domestic. You get what I'm going? So, and start with a zip code. Start that, every zip code is a section, and network with people in that section, man, and keep it going. And again, like I said, it starts with the natural disasters, but it don't end with it, you know. Again, all enemies, foreign and domestic.